Hi everyone, so I think a couple of weeks ago somebody actually asked me on one of my videos if I can do like a video kind of like a top tips for new mums who plan on breastfeeding video. So I'm going to have a crack at it today, and I really hope that I don't miss anything important out. So if I do, then if you have any advice to offer like first time mums or mums that are gonna breastfeed for the first time, then please add your suggestions to the comment box below, because you know, I think where breastfeeding is concerned, any advice that can be given is like it's really important. So a lot of ladies decide to breastfeed when they're pregnant, and it isn't as straightforward as it does look sometimes. It can be quite, when you've just had a baby, whether it be your first, your second, your third, and you know, you first start breastfeeding when you're in hospital or when you're at home, wherever you are really, I think the main thing that goes through people's minds are, how do I know my baby's getting enough milk? Because obviously you can't see in ounces like you would do if you was like giving them a bottle. The first thing that I'll say is, if you're thinking about breastfeeding when you like at the end of your pregnancy and you've decided that is what you want to do, then I would get in touch with any of your local breastfeeding support groups. Maybe go and have a chat to the other mums that go to those groups, or join some of the lovely groups that there are on Facebook, because there are loads of supportive breastfeeding groups. I mean, we've got one local to Grimsby that's on Facebook, and there's so many ladies that ask questions and so many people with all their experience who can help them out with this. I'm sure there are many of these. You just need to kind of ask about. Also, there's if you've got a local Sure Start centre with like breastfeeding groups, then they're also good to go to. I've not been to one for a while, but they are. I went to one when Frankie was a baby, because it was all really new to me and it really did help me going. Also, the Kelly Mom website, I'll put the link below, is another really good website with lots of information as well, and I find it to be quite accurate, to be honest with you. But yeah. The first thing that I will say is, don't ever worry about what your baby is getting, how much milk they're getting. They may be a bit whingy, they may be happy, they may be content, they may be sleepy. All you can really go by is how content your baby is and whether they've got plenty of wet, dirty nappies. There is a misconception with breastfeeding that if you're feeding and your baby's still whingy, that you're not producing enough milk. But the main thing to remember is that the more you feed your baby, if your baby wants to have like a 4-hour nursing session, then go with it, relax, put your feet up, have something to eat, have something to drink, and put your feet up and relax. Go with it, because what your baby is doing is feeding, and as your baby feeds, it's building your supply up to meet your baby's demands. Secondly, get some meals ready while you're at the end of your pregnancy and put them in the freezer for when your baby's born, because it might be a bit chaotic and you might never, you'll be feeding that much maybe that you might not have a chance to prepare decent foods, and you do need to eat properly, which is the next one. You need to make sure that you drink loads of water, juice, keep hydrated, because that's what keeps your milk good, and also eat lots of good foods. I tended to avoid a lot of green vegetables because when Poppy was tiny, because it gave her really bad wind. I'm not saying that you need to do that, but some babies do get really bad wind from it. So if you notice that your baby's a bit uncomfortable after eating broccoli, cabbage, whatever, then you know to rule that out. I've never really worn a nursing bra. My boobs have never really been that big, so I've never tended to wear a nursing bra. I've always kind of just worn my normal bra. They do get wrecked easily, but I only get the cheap ones from Primark, so they're quite easy to replace. As long as you've got a comfortable bra on that you can actually get your boob out of. And when I was feeding a lot and I'd be out in public, if you actually wear layers, like say a vest underneath a top, and that way if you're in public you can like pull the vest down a little bit, pull the top on top up, so you're not showing all your middle, and you can kind of do it discreetly. It'll just look like you're holding your baby close to you. I'm not going to lie to you, breastfeeding does hurt at the start. I must have nipples like steel, because with each child that I've breastfed, it's not hurt at all. But when I first started feeding Frankie, it did really hurt the first few days to a week. You should probably invest in some good nipple cream in advance for when, I think Lansinoh is a good one, in advance to prepare for when it hurts. For some people it really, really hurts and it's unbearable, but it doesn't last forever. And if you've got the cream on hand, just use it and get stuck in. Also, if you get mastitis and your breasts are engorged, a lot of problems that you have with your breasts, just keep on feeding. Even if your nipples aren't sore, then it's probably still a good idea to like put the creams on and stuff, because it will still help them. A lot of nursing problems can be diminished by just carrying on feeding. Like when I say that your nipples may hurt, if you just carry on going through that, then they will toughen up, I promise you. Also, another thing I'd like to add is don't be put off by if your baby's got like a slow weight gain. I mean, there's been many a times, even with Poppy, she was slow to gain weight, and there's been many times where I thought, oh, it's my milk, there must be something wrong with it. Babies are all different. Some breastfed babies put weight on really fast, some don't. Georgie and Poppy were never big in the weight gain department. I think because they were quite active as well, things like that things like that contribute to the weight gain as well, whether they're awake a lot, whether they're active, always kicking about. But I think I personally feel like it's really important not to compare your baby to other people's, because that's when you start to panic a little bit in your own head. But like I said, if your baby has got wet, dirty nappies, seems content the majority of the time, as much as babies do feel content, then you've got nothing to worry about. One of the most important points to remember with breastfeeding, I think the biggest thing is to eat and keep hydrated. But and also another good point is to just don't pressurise yourself. Relax about it. If you feel stressed, then I think that sometimes can influence your milk supply. Be patient with breastfeeding. It can take a while for your supply to actually get established, and after that, after like, I don't know, a couple of months, you might notice that your breasts have gone down and you might panic that you're not producing enough milk, when really that is just showing you that your breasts have kind of regulated. But just, you need to, be patient. It takes a long time. Remind yourself that the hard times where you're going through the growth spurts, they don't last forever. I really hope these breastfeeding tips, this breastfeeding advice has helped anybody. If there's anything, like I said, you want to add down below, then feel free to comment it. And yeah, I hope it helped. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.